Hey everybody, welcome to my channel. If you've been with us before, welcome back. My name is Mary and I'm so excited to be recording this video today. For today's video, we are just sitting down, playing with some makeup. The products that I've got sitting here in front of me are products that have been minimally used for the most part, or I used to use quite often and I've just kind of set them aside for other products, I guess. So it's a bunch of products that I'm not really familiar with at all or anymore, or they're just newer to my collection. I just pulled randomly from my collection products that I just was like, ooh, I should get some more use out of this and that and that. And what really inspired me to do this video is a couple products, but the biggest one that I kind of want this video to shine over is this makeup palette here by Mateo Beauty. It's a colorful eyeshadow palette and I'm very excited about it. So here is what it looks like. I've dipped into this one time for sure. I've maybe for like one purpose only kind of grabbed for like this glittery one here because it's beautiful, but I really just wanted to have a reason to play with this palette again. So that's kind of the inspiration when it came to pulling these products is, for one, things that'll hopefully tie with the look that I'm thinking of, and just products I wanted to pull and play more with. That's what we're doing. I'm very, very excited about it. If you guys enjoy makeup related content, I would love for you guys to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and leave some comments down below. So let's go ahead and get started on the look here. I'm going to start in the eyes, but I'm also actually gonna kind of do the brows here first to try to create some structure. So we're gonna prime the eyes with the concealer and then let that sit, do the brows, and then jump back to the eyeshadow. Over here, I'm going to pop up a photo of the inspiration. I've also got it kind of off to the side here so I can take a look at it as we go. I didn't want the look to be overpowering and super colorful, but still try to get use of 3, maybe 4 colors in this palette. So that's kind of the goal. And then I do also have eyelashes set aside here that maybe we'll use. We'll see how we're feeling and we'll see how things go. But maybe we'll put some lashes on at the end too. So let's grab the concealer that I pulled out. And that is the Revolution. Oh, I didn't wet a sponge here yet. I'm gonna have to do that real quick. But the concealer I decided to pull out was the Revolution Conceal and Define. I know that I've used this a couple of times, but when I go into my collection, it's always one of those concealers where I'm like, I need to try you again, but I'm gonna grab this other concealer instead. And I do that every single time where I'm like, ooh, I really need to visit that one again, but I'm gonna grab this one. So I was like, no more. I need to try this one again here because I'm pretty sure I like it, but I don't know why I'm just not grabbing for it as much as other ones. So I'm hoping it's good. I hope all the products sitting here in front of us are good. So I'm gonna go quickly dampen a sponge here and then we'll get going on that. Sponge damp. So grabbing the concealer here again, we're gonna prep the eyes with this. And I thought maybe it would be a good idea to prep the eyes and kind of just let the concealer sit a little bit. Maybe just to kind of get more of a feel as to how much it might crease on the lids. And if that is the case, after that is sat, I can blend those creases out and kind of get that excess product off before I actually go in with the eyeshadow look. Like usually when it comes to concealer creasing on my eyes and me putting eyeshadow over it, I've got hooded eyes anyway, so it's not a thing that really bothers me or that I necessarily notice because I'm just used to how it looks on my eye shape, I guess. But I thought it would be kind of fun just to kind of give the concealer a minute, figure out what wants to stay and what wants to go, I guess. Honestly, right now, this is the one that has it on and this is the one that doesn't. It almost looks like undetectable, like just kind of like a light coverage. It states full coverage on the bottle here. I mean, I'm definitely still this eye, I see the veins a little bit more in, so at least on me, I'm not seeing full coverage initially when applying it here. So I mean, it's nice. Maybe that's why I haven't been grabbing for it. It looks nice on the eyes here. It's a good match for myself. But when it comes to actually being good coverage, I'd say it's on the light side here. Now we know. I'll probably forget, but now we know. We know for now, I guess. I don't know what I'm saying. But we'll set that concealer aside here now and go into the brow products. And I've got a couple things laid out here. I think this is the mascara. No, that's the mascara. Oh, I got pulled out here. Did I pull out 2 mascaras? What did I do? I pulled all these products out like almost 2 weeks ago with the intentions to record this video, and I'm finally doing it. So I don't even remember everything that I've got pulled out here. So this is kind of a mystery to me as well. Okay, yes, I do have 3 eyebrow products pulled out here. I've got a good old Love, which I hope they still make this because this is from one of my very first like brand new face videos, but it's from the brand Beauty Creations. It's their Brow Tame setting gel. And I remembered this being one of the first or second like clear brow gels that I like fell in love with. And then of course, just from doing like other brand new face videos and stuff, just kind of set it aside. And similar, in some ways kind of similar to the concealer, it'd be like, ooh, I should grab for that again. But like, oh, but no, I really want to use this one. So just because I have so many options right now to choose from, a lot of these products I'm just choosing other ones over, even though I literally want to use every single product in my collection. I either just go for the ones I know that I love, or honestly, I'm just not wearing a lot of makeup all the time. Hopefully, I'll get some more excitement from some of these products and want to start using them more, start using them again. Also, does anybody else do this? This might be really weird. I have the worst, and it probably, some of these will probably show up on camera, some of them probably not, but the worst little flyaways and damaged hair and stuff. Does anybody else ever take their brow gel and just like, whoop? Because I do, and it works usually really well. Beautiful. Okay, yeah, I think I still really like that one. It does hold the hairs up and in place really, really well still. It does have a little bit of an oily residue that I don't remember to it. Just really, really minor stuff. I like putting in a clear brow gel first, typically when it comes to doing my brows, so I can just get the hairs lifted and in place, and then just fill things in from there. So I think this is still doing the job of that, of lifting the hairs and kind of setting up the structure for the brows. Let's go into the pencil. And for the pencil, I wanted to get some more use out of the Winky Lux Unibrow. Now, when we did that brand new face video, there were 2 pencils, and I'm still testing out which one I want over the other. There's the larger one, and then this one, which is the micro brow. So this is my second time using this since that video. I have a feeling I'll enjoy the micro brow one here a little bit more than the larger one. So I wanted to get another use out of this. I remembered from the video thinking there's no chance that this could be a universal shade, and then being proven wrong after I had it in the brows. So I'm hoping I still feel the same way, and I'm hoping that I can draw a decent brow and talk at the same time. Okay. Right now it feels darker than I remembered, but I also think that's because I'm doing them first versus after having eyes and complexion done. They just look a little bit more dramatic right now. I have a feeling that once as we do our face more, it'll all start to match up. This is my bad brow. I always feel like this is the one struggle with the most. We're gonna call that good for the pencil here, and then we do have one more brow product, and that is, it's actually a 3-in-1, so or is it a 2-in-1? I can't remember. Let me just take a peek at it here real quick. It's a 2-in-1. Should we use it all? But this is the Undone Beauty. It is their, doesn't say on here. I think it's just like their 2-in-1 brow product, where it has the tinted brow gel here on one side and a brow pen on the other. So we're gonna use the brow pen here and maybe even still set things down with the brow gel at the end. That's a lot for the brows, but I mean, we're here just to kind of play with makeup again, so see how it goes. I think that's okay. Again, they're still looking pretty bold here, being that we're doing them first, but still trying to trust the process and hope that everything else kind of tones it down, but I think we're doing okay. Well, we might as well just put in the brow gel as well and continue to hope for the best. There are the brows. If we need to come back later on and touch them up, we will do so then. Now let's jump back to the eyes here. Take a look at this concealer. I do see a little bit of creasing that is taking place. And again, I feel like a lot of that is kind of lifted off my eyes, and it was a very light coverage in general. So that is very interesting. I'll probably still hang on to it based off the shade. And I guess we'll see also how it kind of sits on the face as well. I'm a little scared for some of the face products that I've pulled aside here to give another use to. We're hoping for good things, but I'm a little scared. I guess, I mean, it kind of makes sense possibly why I wasn't reaching for this, because there wasn't anything super exciting that was standing out about it, and that might just be because it's very light coverage and it kind of lifted off a lot while we had it sit there. So, all right. Let's jump into the eyes here now. I will show up that reference photo here again so you guys can see, and I'll just kind of take a look at it here off on the side. So we're going into that Mateo Beauty Photogenic Influencer palette. This is such a fun palette. I should have swatches of this when I first got it that maybe Editing Mary can pop in here as well, because it's just so pretty. And she's a smaller brand, or it's like a smaller woman-owned brand and stuff, so I wanted to support her, and I wanted to also, you know, use her brushes here as well. So let's just dive into it here and figure out how we want to start the look out. Now there's not necessarily like browns and stuff in here that I would typically use to kind of set up the base. That's just what I'm usually comfortable with. But it does look like the closest thing based off my reference photo here is probably going to be this shade here called Charlotte. And now this is one of the shades that I have used before. I'm gonna use this Mateo blending brush here. It's a little bit more dense and maybe just slightly larger than some of the blending brushes that I typically use. Dip into that Charlotte color and start blending this into our crease. Now this is a little more pinky than the reference photo. The one in the photo is a little bit more orangey, so they don't quite have a color in here. I'm wondering if this yellow will help out. We'll try that out here in a little bit. But so far, this is just from one dip, which is pretty impressive. And I'm just kind of taking my time to really diffuse the product up and try to create a seamless transition towards the brow here. Start there. It might be a little subtle, but well, yeah, I don't know. I always go a little soft when I'm trying new looks, and then when I finish it all off, I'm like, oh, it could have been a little more intense. So this looks good to me right now, but I wouldn't be surprised if we need to build it up a little bit more as we go. But let's just use that same brush, try dipping into this yellow shade here now called Vacation, and kind of going just slightly lower in the same place to try to kind of make the color to be a little more orangey like it is in the reference. And then because the majority of the eye, the top of the eyelid is yellowy, I'm going to also start to just take that onto the eyelid as well. Now yellows can be a hard color to formulate, so I wasn't expecting this to have too much pigment, but I mean, still doing all right. I do like how it's mixing with the pink. And then, I don't have necessarily red up at the top, but I want to try to create a little bit more depth on the outer part here. So taking that kind of orangey shade and a little bit of this red shade here called Rising Phoenix. I'm going to use still that same brush here, tap between the two of those, and try to create a little bit of depth out here. Yeah, that's turning pretty red. I'm going to find a clean brush here. Looks like a kind of like a loose, soft blending brush, and I'm going to take that to kind of blend everything together here in the outer area. That's not too bad. So far it's working out. I'm going to use my finger here now and dip into that gold shade here called Success. Dip on in. Ooh, so golden. And apply this pretty much all over the eyelid. That is a fun color. That kind of like, ooh, that pulled the yellow in. That looks really good. And now I'm gonna take a little bit more, I think, of that yellow and pinky kind of color, mix. Just hit above here again. Eyeliner. Sweet. What I pulled out will work out really, really well. Excited about that. Okay, for eyeliner, we grabbed the She Glam. It's like their Expert Dual Eyeliner. I hope they also still have this available. Again, this was from one of my earlier brand new face videos, but on one side we've got a gel liner in a stick form like this and a retractable. I remember this to be a very good liner for the waterline. It does not smudge or budge very easily, so I remember that, but I still have not used it in quite some time because I don't go for like pencil gel liners as much anymore. And then we've got the felt tip, which I honestly don't remember a whole lot about, but this is what we're gonna use today. Okay, they don't look great. They're very scoopy with my hoods. They're gonna work, I hope. I hope mascara helps. I hope the lashes help. But I do really like how the eyeshadow's looking here. This is looking really, really cool. So let's curl our lashes here and give some mascara a try. Where's my lash curler? There's my lash curler. Curl our lashes. Okay, and I've pulled out two mascaras. One of them I want to use more on the lower lash, another one that I want to use on the upper lash here. The one that I've pulled out for the upper lash is the Undone Beauty mascara. It's their Clean Lash Mascara, and I do not remember what I thought of this. So it's got a very large bristly applicator. I think it was one of those like very natural looking, but then on the second coat, I started to kind of see it. Yeah, I just don't remember. So I'm gonna start applying this. I believe it claimed to provide length, which a lot of mascaras try to do. If you've been with me here before, you know I got tiny lashes. Sometimes when things claim to be lengthening, it does not show on these teeny tiny lashes. About one coat built up on this lash here so far. I do think it is one, yeah, like I am starting to remember here. I think on the second layer that we put on, it's gonna become more dramatic. They do look like they're getting some length, but they're not staying lifted. And then anytime I try to do like a wing or my liner is anyway bold, like you can barely even see my eyelashes. So I hope that we can get them to be lifted a little bit more so we can see them. But if that's not the case, we might just have to do some false lashes here to make this eyelash or to make this eye look good. And then the other thing that I'm noticing using this again is the formula is very wet and very messy. I've smudged mascara all over the eyes already, and it is flaking down onto the face here as well, which is not ideal, but we're intentionally doing our eyes here first anyway, so hopefully it dries and doesn't flake afterwards. Okay, upper lash mascara is on. I feel like it didn't build up as much on this other lash here as I wanted it to. It is still a really nice black mascara. Again, the formula is really, really wet, so it's a little messy. So I don't know what to think about that. When I think about how it sits in my collection, I could see myself using it because it's very dark and black, and I see that length like if I didn't have such a thick liner on, but it doesn't compare to what I would probably consider to be my current favorite mascara, which is the Revlon So Fierce. That one just, my little lashes love the drama that mascara brings, and this one is not quite there. So it's nice, it's cute, but it's a little messy, and not quite giving me the drama that I'm looking for. Let's now move into the face here now, I think. Yes, let's go into the face and go into primer. Now, I was torn between two primers, so I pulled them both out, but I'm pretty certain that these are very similar, and I'm kind of thinking there's a chance they're almost like dupes for each other. The first one being the Kiko Matte Face Base, and the other one being the L'Oreal Infallible Matte Lock, their mattifying face base. I'll swatch them here for you in a little bit. Their formulas look different. One of them is clear, I believe, and one of them is white. But when you blend them out, I can't seem to see a difference between the two of them. They're both, I mean, very basic mattifying, oil controlling, supposed to be pore blurring primers, but I'm really curious to see them up against each other, I guess, to see how similar they actually are. Initially, I was like, oh, I'll just mix the two. But I think I want to do half one face with one of these primers and the other half on the other side to see if I can see a difference between the two. So that's what we're going to do with these today. I think we'll do Kiko on this side here. So my right, I don't know how that records for you guys, but on my right here, we'll do Kiko. And then on my left, we'll do Infallible and see what we think. So first, before we get into it, I will just do a quick little swatch for you guys. This is the Kiko one. So yeah, that one is like, can you even see it? It's like a clear formula. Infallible is kind of white and lotiony. Using two different fingers here, trying to kind of blend them out side by side, which this will probably not pick up very well on camera. The Kiko one seems to slide around more, have a little bit more maybe hydration to it, even though it is mattifying. And then the Infallible one seems to kind of dry down a little bit quicker. And I start to kind of see the matte and smoothness coming out from that a little bit quicker here. And then yeah, that one's basically kind of set down as best as it can. And then I can still feel a little bit of slip from the Kiko one. Again, you probably can't see any of this. You can kind of see what I was rubbing there, but very, very minor stuff. But I hope, and I'm curious to see if I can see any significant difference on the face here. So I'm going to start on the Kiko side here. Squeeze a little bit of this onto my hand. Okay. I think we've got enough of that applied on that side. Now we're going to go wipe my hands off here real quick. Go into the Infallible one on the opposite. Now, will we be able to initially see any difference between these? I don't know. This might not be as exciting of a challenge than I had hoped for. Let me know if you can see any difference. This is the Infallible side. This is the Kiko side. I'm thinking what I'm seeing here when we're thinking about pore blurring, minimal. I might see a little bit more pore blurring coming from the Infallible or the L'Oreal Infallible side here, but it's barely a difference. And then when it comes to mattifying as well, again, very, very minor. I think L'Oreal, see, this is Kiko. This looks a little more shiny here than here. I mean, it's still there, but like, I think the Infallible one just a little bit more, but they've both completely dried down. They feel the same. Minimal difference between the two of them, but I think maybe Infallible might be pore blurring a little bit more and mattifying just a little bit more as well. But I like how both of them feel. I like how both of them look and how the face is prepped. Still both very great products. Maybe they're dupes. I don't know. But that was interesting. I don't know how exciting that was for anybody, but that was interesting. I'm glad I did that. Now we're gonna go into the foundation, which I'm scared about. It is the L'Oreal Infallible 24-Hour Fresh Wear Foundation. And this is their Fresh Wear Powder Foundation. And when we did I keep wanting to call it Infallible, and I did that during the video too. Now, when we did our L'Oreal video, I attempted to use this as a setting powder, and I found that that wasn't the case. Oh, I'm very worried about the lineup here. I'm just realizing the stuff I pulled out, I don't know how well it's gonna work together. We might have to skip some products. I don't know, we'll see. But I tried to use this as a setting powder on top of their hyaluronic drops or their serum foundation stuff that they have, which is beautiful. I love it. But this didn't work to set that down necessarily. It is intended and highly rated to be what it is a foundation. So I told myself I needed to give it a go as a foundation. So that's what we're gonna do today. It comes with a little sponge on the bottom here, so I'm gonna try dipping in with that first to see how much coverage we can get that way, and we'll see if that's the direction we decide to go. Wiggle in some product on there, and then just start to blend this on the face. Oh, I should have put concealer on first. Oh my goodness, Mary. Messing up left and right. So far I've got it all over this half of the face here. It doesn't look bad for a powder foundation. Here's the side without any foundation on. It definitely evens the skin tone out, but still you can see little spots and stuff coming through. Yeah, for a powder foundation, it's not bad, but I just don't think I'm a powder foundation person because it does still feel a little funny and drying in some areas. And then you can still see texture on the face here. This is the side that the Kiko is on. I'm curious if when I put it on this side, if the pore blurring will be any better, but I do still see larger pores and stuff in this area. Between the Kiko primer and this powder foundation, that's not my favorite. I'm gonna apply it on this side here now and see if that looks any different. Using the little sponge here actually works pretty well to get some good coverage. I did realize I should have put some cream concealer down, so I don't know if we'll put that over top of this or if we do decide to, if it's gonna ruin anything or look funny. I mean, so yeah, like it does, you can't even see. It does a decent job. I just kind of went over this area. That was looking pretty red. You can still see the darkness from the acne spot that I've got there, but it just kind of evens it out a little bit. I do still see pores and texture on this side, and it looks, I don't know if my camera will show it, but I actually really don't like at all the way that it makes my pores look right here. I thought this side was doing a better job with the pore filling. I mean, both sides don't look great, but I don't like how that looks there. So I had a feeling I wasn't going to enjoy putting this on, but I'm glad that I've come to that conclusion, I guess. I don't think that this will be a product that I hang on to. I've never really been much of a powder foundation person, but I knew that this was quite a hyped product for a minute there, that I wanted to try it out. But I think I'm going to stick to the L'Oreal Infallible Fresh Wear Liquid Foundation. That is one of my favorite all-time foundations. So not this guy, not for me, but their liquid form, beautiful. Let's try to put a small amount of concealer down. Again, I probably should have done this before the foundation, so this might not be good. Okay. I don't think we're ruining anything too much here. I just put the tiniest dots right in the inner part there just to kind of finish filling in there because the foundation didn't get quite in there. And just to get a little bit more brightness up there. So I think we're okay so far. Now, I did have a separate setting powder set aside. The Kiko Milano, their Invisible Touch. I'm not going to use this today because I remember this being so matte and so drying on the face. And I did not remember that I had that powder foundation set aside for this video, so I'm not going to set our powder foundation down with another dry mattifying powder. I will just have to use this another time because I don't want to feel dried up. So we're not going to use this today. Let's go back to the eyes here and finish those up. Looking at a reference photo here, the base is basically red. Ooh, and she has oh man, we're not gonna do that. She has like a beautiful like red kind of berry colored eyeliner in. I had a specific lip liner that I used to use in my eyes all the time that I loved doing that with. We're not gonna do that. We're gonna use the SheGlam eyeliner and use that pencil gel side to do a tight line in the lower waterline here. Again, I remembered this being really good for not smudging and budging, so I'm hoping I'm remembering that correctly. And do we want to take it all the way? I think we just want to do like halfway. Okie dokie dokie. Then I'm going to take another Mateo brush here. It's an angled liner brush and just smudge this out just a little bit. All right, and I think I'm just gonna stick to this brush, and the base of the eye is primarily like a red color. So we're going to use this red shade that we used a little bit on the top, dip that angled brush into there. I'm gonna start by kind of stamping it in place. I don't necessarily want this to come too low. Once I've got that kind of stamped, I'm going to take the brush that we initially used for like blending in the crease shades here, pinching that, kind of work and soften that up just a little bit, and then ever so slightly now going into that more pinky orange shade, dipping a little bit onto that same brush and continually blending that just a little bit lower. And then Going to just quickly clean off that angled brush, and we're gonna prep the inner corner a little bit with that yellow, and then using that brush again, going into that gold shade, bringing that in. And then for the lower lash mascara, I wanted to get some more use out of the Kiko Milano, their 30-day extensions daily treatment mascara. Why are you not charging? Well, hopefully my phone doesn't die here. We are going to go into that Kiko Milano mascara for the lower lash here. And again, I don't really remember much of anything about this. I remember liking the small brush and stating that it would be a really good lower lash mascara. But other than that, I have no idea. There's the lower lash mascara on and the eyes complete. I'll have to use that mascara a couple more times to like really remember what I think about it, because I can't get too much of an opinion just by putting it on the lower lashes right now. But the eyes are looking really fun. This is quite a look, and I think it looks really cool. So let's just keep going. Let's move back to the face here now and go into these two face palettes. Now, one of these I've used once on camera, and it was from my Joey Picks My Makeup. And I'm so happy that Joey picked this palette for my bronzer, because I would not have used it if that was the case, because it is too deep and too dark, at least is what I thought. But I loved the way that this blended out on my face, so I wanted to use it again. And then in combination when buying this, I also bought their blush palette too, and it was the same thing, intended for medium dark skin. And so I've just been like, when am I gonna use this, or how am I gonna use this? But I thought by creating more of like this pinky and golden kind of sunsetty look, that maybe I could get some shadows, or not shadows, maybe I could get some blushes like this to kind of tie in with that. That's the hope. So I wanted to try to find a reason to use this, and I'm hoping that it'll look good with these pinkies and yellows on the eyes. So let's bronze the face up here. We are going to use the ColourPop F18 brush, this fluffy guy, and I'm going to just start by dipping between these two shades here, I think. I think that's kind of how I did it in the Joey Picks My Makeup video. I honestly could not remember. And we'll see if I want to be daring to go into the deepest shade. Like, I've barely blended this out, and it already just looks so good. Like, it builds up so nicely on itself. I was just always so scared that it would be way too intense, and that's just not the case. Like, I'm actually kind of going what feels to be fairly heavy on the head here, and it just looks so good. Okay, we're gonna brave it, and we're gonna dip a little bit into the deepest shade here as well. Okay, that is definitely a lot deeper. Kind of clinging in that one spot too. Ooh, that might be a bit much. That deepest shade, because that was barely anything, and I feel like that significantly showed up, and it even kind of stuck in one spot there. So I don't know how much use I'll get out of that guy. But mixing that lightest and that medium shade for sure, I really, really like. And then, do we have a good Mateo brush? Let's try using this kind of angled fluffy brush. We're gonna try to contour. I feel like the nose needs a little bit of that. I'm not good at contouring whatsoever. So that's like not blended out in person, and you can clearly see it, but I feel like even on camera, I'll try to bring this light down a smidge. I mean, you can see it a little bit more now, but like the way that this applies is so like gentle, I feel is a good way to describe it. Does that look okay for a nose contour? I don't know. Let's go into the blush now. Let's see. I don't know if I will use this guy. That seems quite intense, but I think this might be a good shade to work with what we've got going on with the eyes. All of these are shimmery, so I'm not going to even put on a highlighter or anything like that. And then maybe we'll add like a smidgen. This bubblegum pinky color is a very popular blush shade right now. Not usually as glittery and sparkly like this, but maybe that'll be a fun little pop of fresh pink. So let's take an e.l.f. angled blush brush here, dip into that middle shade, which is called Twin Flame. Oh boy. And apply this on the cheeks. So there's definitely pigment there, but similar to the bronzer, it's just so soft. Like it blends itself out really nicely. Try to kind of blend that in with the eyeshadows. I want to bring it kind of high up because that's kind of a thing too. Your blush is really high up. Maybe we will add some of that deeper red because this is actually really, really pretty. And even though there's glitter in it, it's not overly shiny. Okay, had to switch out the battery here, and my phone, which is my display, is being a little funky right now and not charging, so I had to switch where I was charging it from. Typically I have it up here to be my display, but it can't reach with the cord, so it's down here. So if you see me looking that direction, that's because I'm getting distracted by my phone as my display, but I'll try to look at you guys here. So far we've just applied this one middle shade here, and what do I want to do? I want to go just slightly in with the deepest shade, just back here. Blend it in with the eyes. We're looking very, very blushy, but I actually really like this. That is beautiful. It's quite blushy, but it's so pretty. That probably looks quite intense. I'll try to kind of soften it out here as we go, but I feel like I have to use this lightest shade here, so I think we can still use the same brush. I'm going to try to kind of wipe it off here a little bit on my arm and just barely dip in there. Apply this at the front. It's blushy, but I love these colors. I don't know if I'll ever wear it this intense. I'll have to go in with like a lighter hand and not so heavy because they are quite pigmented, but they blend out so nicely. I do feel like I need to warm things up a little bit. So going back in on the bronzer palette here, just gonna take that middle shade and just warm things up a little bit. I don't want the cheeks to look too heavy, but I feel like we lost some of that. And then just gonna try and smooth things out with my sponge here. I don't know what this will or won't do. Ooh, so excited about that. Okay, I think we're on to the lips here now. We're getting to the end. Okay, so for lips, I pulled out 3 products. I pulled out a lip liner, a lipstick, and a gloss. Now, I don't use a lot of glosses on my brand new face videos and stuff, but I was like, I've got so many. I've got this one that I've held on to and I have not used. And all of these are products that I've used minimally, but then I think when I was trying to swatch everything, I think these should pair up pretty well with each other. I hope it works. It's gonna be kind of like a pink look, which will hopefully kind of tie in with the pinks that we've got going on the eyes. But let's start with the lip liner, and this is the, what brand are you? Rimmel. Rimmel London Exaggerate, their full color lip liner, and this is in their shade East End Snob. Kind of just like a pink, maybe slightly, I can't even see what I'm swatching here, slightly mauve-y color, but a very, very significantly pink colored liner. I am going to quickly, I had my lips prepped a little earlier, but that's kind of all worn off, so I'm going to take a little bit of my Tree Hug lip prep stuff. It's a lip scrub, but I'm using it, the oil in it. Got that on. Let's line the lips with this. I don't know if I'm going to fill them in here, but we'll just start with lining and see what we think from there. There is that lip liner. I'm trying to hold my mirror up higher so I look at that instead of my phone. It might be a little more pinky, purpley for this look, but it's still really cute. I actually still really like this liner. Again, it's not a liner that I've grabbed for very, very often. I do like the color. I think that's really, really pretty. And it feels nice. That's probably just mostly because I put lip treatment stuff on right before putting it on, but with that, it blended it onto the lips really nicely here. That on its own would be really, really cute, but we do have more lip products to put over top. And the next product I have is NARS. It is their Afterglow Lip Balm, and it is in one of their iconic shades, Orgasm. Let's swatch this next to the lip liner. So it is sheer, if you can see that there. So it might be goofy to do this and then put a gloss over top, but I thought maybe that would look okay with the lip liner. So let's apply this. Okay, yeah, that's basically just, it's a balm, kind of like it says. I think I thought it would have a little bit more pigment to it. It kind of does, but the liner is definitely doing a lot more for the lips than what this is doing. This is just kind of providing a balmy gloss to the lips, which it feels really, really nice. I do like how both of those products look together. It might not be the best match, but I still think it's okay for what we've got going on the eyes here. Let's just use the last lip product here. Again, it's probably just gonna make everything look a little bit more glossy, but I pulled this out. I wanted to use it, had not used it, I'm pretty sure since recording this brand new face video, and this was one of the first brand new face videos that I did after we moved into the house here. And this is the gloss from Florence by Mills, and it is their gloss in the shade Birthday Mills. Now there was a lot from that brand new face video that I did not enjoy, but this was one of the products that I actually did like. Now I know that Florence by Mills has come out with a lot more since, so I'm definitely interested in trying out more of their products here again, but I do remember this being one of very few products that I held on to. Oh, and let me swatch that for you. So I've got it on the lips. It probably looks little to no different than what it looked like with just the NARS lip balm on. But next to that, it's just a little bit more purpley. That probably matches with the lip liner a little bit more closely than what the NARS balm looks like. I like how all three of those products are looking and feeling on the lips here. And I think we've got a decently tied together look. It's not bad. I'm happy with the eyes. I'm shocked with the blush, and I do like how the lips are looking and feeling. So overall, I'm really happy with how everything is looking here. We've got one more product to put on, which is the setting spray, and this is the Flower Seal the Deal long-lasting setting spray. Now I've used this one a couple of times, but again, with all of these, it's just often one that I reach for other ones over for some reason. So I think, oh, it is a matte spray. I thought it was more of a glass spray. See, I didn't remember that. This is intended to be a long-lasting matte setting spray. So let's spray a little bit of this on the face. I'm gonna prime the pump. Ooh, I don't remember the mist being so fine. And let's spray the face. The mist is so fine on it, I can barely even feel it hitting my face. And also, the pump, after a while, gets really hard to press. I feel like there might be product building up in it, making it hard to press it down. Alrighty, and the face is set. I think I'm gonna hold off on the lashes as much as I think that could look so fun. Maybe I'll do this actually. Back up a little bit. I'm not gonna officially put the lashes on here just because I know I would not wear them for a long time. I know that they would make the look come together so much better, but this makeup probably isn't gonna be on my face for too much longer today. It's kind of later in the day. So maybe I'll just try and fake put one of these on. And these are lashes that I've had forever. They're the Kiss Looks So Natural lashes. And I think it's in their style Shy. So I'm not even gonna put any glue on this, and I'm not even gonna trim it down. Just gonna pretend I am not good at lashes. I almost had it, and then I fudged with it too much. And that's on. If we were to put that on, that would be so fun. I think that would really finish the eyes off. That's really pretty. But I just know I'm not gonna wear it for a long time, and I don't want to waste putting glue on these. But boy, oh boy, cute. Okay, I'm playing around too much here. Anyways, that is the makeup look. I am overall really happy that I used these products again. I gave a couple of them another shot. In general, really, the biggest thing that stands out to me as a product I don't think I'm gonna hang on to is the powder foundation, the L'Oreal Infallible powder foundation. It's just not a product for me. Things are sitting on top of it really, really nicely. I just know that I prefer my liquid foundations over this. So I don't think I'm gonna get any more use out of that. A bunch of these though, I'm so happy that I tried again. I love how the eye look turned out using this Mateo Beauty Photogenic eyeshadow palette. I'm excited to make more looks out of it. This lilac shade up top here looks beautiful. The greens on this other side here look beautiful. And again, I've used this Positive Vibes shadow here as well. Beautiful on top of like literally everything. So very excited to have used that again. And second thing that stands out for sure are these face palettes. Love how they look and how they perform on the face here. It's a lot of blush, but it looks so good. So I'm super duper happy about these. That's gonna be everything for this video. I hope you guys like the look. Let me know what you guys think of the look down below. I'm really, really loving it. And if you guys enjoyed today's video, feel free to give it a big thumbs up. I would greatly, greatly appreciate it. And if you want to be notified of the next time that I post, make sure you hit that subscribe button and notification bell so you can be notified. That's going to be it from me. I hope you guys have a wonderful, wonderful day. And I will see you in my next video. Bye-bye.